Gasol kicks it out to Odom. Odom throws it ahead. We're going to be back. The Lakers repeat back-to-back titles. I'm going to get another superstar there. And then the next year, we're going to be back.
Hey guys, welcome to the Late Night Lake Show podcast. It is your host, Ricky and Danny, coming to you guys back again on a early morning brew podcast of the Late Night Lake Show. Danny's he's got his red eye right now out in Cali. Danny, how you feeling right now, man?
I'm feeling great, man. Tail end of the summer. It's August. That means, football season, preseason for basketball, all that good stuff coming soon. Yeah,
you kind of sound like the dog days of summer right now. I'm good. I'm all good, man. I wish I was better right now. We should be talking about the NBA schedule that just released earlier this week. But unfortunately, we had to table all that. We actually had another guest scheduled to appear on the show. That will come to you guys soon. But we got to talk about unfortunate news. Our boy, DeMarcus Cousins, the Lakers' recent big man signing this offseason, tore his ACL. That news came out on Thursday. The report that he had bumped knees with a player. Woj came out and reported that first, and that he was going to LA for further testing. And then Shams, a few hours later, broke that he tore his ACL. And then a video later on that evening came out that it was a non-contact injury. Boogie went down on his own, and you could see that, everybody in the gym kind of knew what that was pointing towards as far as signs of his injury. So we're going to talk about our boy DeMarcus Cousins. First off, we'll just get into instant reactions, man. That's a guy that's been battling some injuries back to back. And, we're hopeful that he could just keep his head during these definitely hard times for him. Then in our second segment, we'll talk about options. The Lakers are down to two true big men in Anthony Davis and JaVale McGee. And I don't know if you noticed, Anthony Davis hasn't been too keen on playing the five in his career. So we got to talk about if the Lakers are going to make a move and what those moves are right now as far as free agent options. And at the very end, if we have time, we'll just touch on Kuz's performance in the exhibition game against Spain last night. So, well, you know how we're going to get into it. Follow me, Mr. Ricky Spanish. Follow Danny, base_Dan. Subscribe to the Late Night Lake Show podcast, guys. Leave us a 5-star review. Let us know what you like about the show. We're in the summer. We're making adjustments. We're trying to keep tailoring this Laker talk, Laker conversation to the stuff that you guys want to hear about. So we want to hear from you. Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know in the reviews how you want this boat to roll. But I think we're doing pretty well so far, Danny. So you ready to get into it, man?
Yeah, man. Let's get it going.
Cool.
Early morning, early bird gets the worm.
Yeah, early bird gets the worm. Unfortunately, this early morning, we got to talk about our man Boogie. Like I said, this will be his third big injury in his recent years. I tweeted this out earlier when the news broke that he actually tore his ACL. DeMarcus Cousins was the best center, the best big man in the NBA 24 months ago. And to have torn your Achilles in a summer or going into a year where you could finally sign a max contract, could have signed the Supermax with Sacramento. They trade your way, and that eliminated that. That goes away. So no max for Boogie. You're a big guy. People already have their suspicions, their thoughts. They're skeptical on if Boogie can come back from an Achilles tear as being that big of a human being. And he comes back. He works his butt off, signs with the Warriors, and he comes back and looks, trying to shake the rust off, things like that. But you saw signs that Boogie could at least reach some level of his former all-star self. And then he goes and he tears his quad, and that ends his run during his Warriors tenure. And then he comes back from the finals, looks like a good player, looks like somebody that can actually contribute still in the league and on some nights dominate. You still saw that out of Boogie, right? Season ends. You try to figure out what else DeMarcus has left in the tank. Lakers take a flyer on him, a really buy low, high potential type signing. Unfortunately, we never got to take the Hummer out of the garage. It had one too many repairs, and Boogie goes down in the summer during what looks like just to be practice or training or just a pickup game. And just really, really, really disappointing news just on all fronts. Danny, when you heard the news, man, what was the first thing that came to mind for you?
It's just the whole shock of sadness, to be honest with you. I mean, I think this guy was ready to have a comeback type year where, I mean, he's not going to be putting up those 25 and 12 numbers, but if he's anywhere near a little over half of those numbers, if he was putting up like 14 and 6, 14 and 8, I'd be pretty happy. It's a small step for that guy. Boogie is a big, no, he's not just a big, he's a big dude. You know what I mean? The guy is near 7 feet, near 280 pounds. The way he moves, he shakes the floor every time he takes a step. You know what I mean? So these lower extremity injuries, such as a torn quad, which when I saw him go down, I actually saw it live happening. It was kind of funny. We all thought he rolled his ankle. He ends up tearing his quad. In the playoffs, comes back. And that was just the biggest shock. I didn't even know he was going to come back. So I guess his body can recover pretty quickly. When you come back from an Achilles a whole calendar year later, you're not expected to move. And Boogie has some kind of quickness to his game in a way. And he showed it. He showed some flashes. So I'm sad that he did tear his ACL. And I mean, from a Lakers fan perspective, yeah, it sucks you don't get to watch him play. It really does. But you also got to look at it like this poor guy doesn't even get a chance to show what he really is again. Like, when is it going to, what year is it, what season is it going to take for Boogie to come back to be Boogie? Or is he going to be Boogie? This is all too familiar to people who lived in Chicago too, with a guy named Derrick Rose. It's one injury that piles after another, after another, after another. And then at the end of the day, you're like, is he ever going to be even relatively close to a shell of himself? You know what I mean? What are we going to do next? I just feel bad for the guy that he's trying to work his ass off in the off season, and he's in a pickup game, and we don't know what kind of move he was trying to make, if he was trying to explode to the rim, whatever it may be, and he just collapses down. I mean, at least I could say he was doing something basketball related to this injury, and it wasn't something that's undisclosed. But it was just it's just a shock, and it's sad. Like, you don't want to see anyone go down, especially a guy like that.
Yeah, and it's not one of those things, like you said, that it's like he's doing something that he shouldn't have been doing. It's the off season. Boogie needs to be training. I know we talked about this on the podcast, and I talked about it on other shows. Like, I am A-okay with never seeing a summer workout video from any player on my team who has already proven himself, as long as they don't have a weight issue. We saw Boogie, ketoed and intermittent fasted, slimmed down self this summer, and to see this happen to him, it makes me think, after, obviously your heart goes out to Boogie. There's a report that said he has gone dark. Nobody can reach him right now. And I mean, I'm not necessarily surprised, again, I'm just sad for the guy. That's a lot to bear mentally, like I said, to go from the best big man in the league and about to sign a huge contract to never seeing that money, and, to be honest, never seeing your former true self again. That's rough. Boogie now is looking at a road ahead where any type of appearance on the NBA court again and stringing together any stretch of healthy basketball, that's now a win for DeMarcus Cousins. It's going to be tough. It's another 6, 7, 8, 9 month injury for Boogie. Klay Thompson's supposed to be, coming back pretty fast. But again, DeMarcus is a giant. And with giants who start going down, Andrew Bynum, it's just going to be very difficult to try to imagine them in a dominant form again, right? So, Boogie, I just hope, man, that you continue to surround yourself with the people that love you. Continue to, keep your eyes focused on the road ahead. We saw this before with Kobe starting to go down after injury, after injury, after injury. Listen to yourself, man. More importantly, listen to your body. Best of luck going forward. Fortunately, though, that leaves the Lakers with 2 true big men on their roster. We kind of need to take a look at what our options are looking forward. Danny, I don't know if you feel too positive, feel too optimistic about the Lakers options moving forward, but we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to sift through what's left in the bin of free agent big men. Late Night Lake Show. We'll be right back.
You have been listening to the Late Night Lake Show, and you thought to yourself, man, I love me some Ricky and Danny. This podcast is the truth. I think I could do a podcast of my own. Talk about some of my favorite topics, like cat litter and stuff like that. Well, that was a bad example, but if you have something to talk about, do it on Anchor. It's your one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing your podcast, and best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And right now, Anchor is going to match you up with some great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. Your podcast, my guy. Make it happen. Just make sure you're doing it on Anchor. Free, easy, and it's the reason why I'm reading you this ad right now.
And we're back with the Late Night Lake Show. Ricky, when we were looking through and sifting through the grab bag of centers that are remaining, there's a few that actually stand out to me. And I actually feel pretty good about these veteran signings as a center because, as you were alluding to, we do have 2 true bigs on the team with JaVale and Anthony Davis. Now, Anthony Davis doesn't want to play the 5 too much. But what do you think of a few guys that I'm naming off going forward and how I should say optimistic you are about how they could perform with the Lakers? You ready?
Oh boy. Yeah, sure. Let's see what we got left in the bargain bin.
All right. Let me grab option number 1 out of the box. Option number 1 that I'm actually most excited for, I would say Marcin Gortat. Now, the 35-year-old center, last team he did play for was Los Angeles Clippers. He is a veteran. He is 35 years old, but he is always, always, always in great shape when it comes to ball. A great pick and roll big, and he's physical on both ends. He plays with fast pace. He played with fast-paced teams. His point guard for majority of his career was, John Wall. He played on Phoenix with Steve Nash and Goran Dragic. So he's played with guards who can move the ball and play fast, especially with the guys at the Wizards. But what do you think of Marcin Gortat?
Oh, man. The Polish hammer, Marcin Gortat. I hate that he just has one tattoo. If we're just jumping into what do I think of Marcin Gortat, of that, it's a very strong, intimidating looking hammer on the side of his arm. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, please go look that up. Yeah, he is a very unique looking individual. Basketball related, though, I think that he can, serve a purpose as a backup big, or I don't know, again, this whole thing with Boogie going down has kind of really jacked up the whole rotation because your first thought is, all right, if you want to preserve AD at the 4, do you just move JaVale to the 5 and sign a backup center? I don't know, man. How many minutes can Gortat play? And I might put him up there with AD as a pick and roll big that still serves some purpose as a pretty hard screener, right? He's always been a guy who's kept his body in shape. And I think, I wouldn't hate it, right? Gortat, how old did you say he was? 35, 34?
He's pushing 35 this season. So
who did he play for last? Gortat?
The Clippers. So he's been in LA.
Oh my God. Yeah, he's right there. That's right. He has been right in the backyard. Yeah, I think that's fair. I could see Marcin Gortat getting a minimum contract with the Lakers and, doing something. I like that first option. We're starting off well.
Okay. I found a few more options for you. But let me go with number 2 before we go into those. Number 2 is an LA native, played for a travel journeyman big, not 7 feet, but right around 6'10" at Amir Johnson. Now, Amir Johnson's a guy who attacks the glass. He's a rim protector. He can do similar things that Gortat. A little more wiggle with the athleticism, but he's been around the league. Not too much stability. I think the last team he did play for was it the Clippers or was it the Celtics or Sixers? It was the Sixers, I believe. Yeah. So what do you think of Amir Johnson?
I don't know. If it was like 2017, I think Amir Johnson was somebody that I wanted on the Lakers as a center option. He's a long defensive-minded big, not necessarily a scorer. I don't really know how much he is as a pick and roll screener or finisher at the rim. At this point, Amir averaged 4 points and 3 rebounds last year with the Sixers. I think he's probably getting really towards the tail end of him being a valuable player or productive player on the Lakers. But I also have to keep in mind that what we're shopping in, we're in the clearance bin right now. So I'd probably push Amir Johnson back more in my mental. I'll tell you what, he's ahead of somebody who I really want you to bring up later on this list, because I have thoughts about that. But Amir Johnson will never be last on this big options free agency list. So I'm just not too crazy about it. I don't really know what more he could bring to the table if he's only getting you, 4-2, 4-3 in Philly. So,
and one of my other options I was looking at, he's relatively young, I'd say 29 years old, last played in Barcelona. I'm talking about Kevin Seraphin, who actually was playing for the Wizards in the NBA. Pretty solid with his numbers floating around 7-8 points a game with anywhere from, 6 to 7 rebounds a game. So contributing wise, he could contribute, but would you want Kevin Seraphin, who last played in the EuroLeague?
Not really. Like, I don't know. Like, how old is Kevin Seraphin? 29?
Yeah, 29.
Right. Okay. To be honest, I hadn't heard that name in a few years, and that makes sense because he's playing in Barcelona. Do you have any more information on Kevin Seraphin? I know he had bounced around.
I know. He just did his job. I guess he's really good at what he actually does, because he's putting up, he put up like 8 and 6 in the NBA, putting up anywhere from 8 and 8 in the EuroLeague. So he doesn't really. I guess you could say he's consistent, but he's not a guy where you draw up plays for. He's literally a filler who can clean up glass well, and he can, defend, and he has a long wingspan. But I'm not too excited for him. And this is the problem, Ricky. There's not like a huge market for centers right now. There's not like a huge, hey, pick me. And we're all like, okay, these are all solid options. There are guys who are, in their mid to late 30s. There are guys who bounced around. So these are the cats we're looking to sign,
Kevin Seraphin hasn't attempted a 3 in his NBA career.
All right, let's put that as the next option. All right. And then
still above the person that's last, mind you.
Okay, and I kind of want to guess who it is.
Not yet. We got to at least go through one more capable option here.
Would you want Tyler Zeller?
Oh my God. Tyler Zeller literally feels like, I don't know, man. Tyler Zeller, he just really has
Cody Zeller still in the league?
Dog, were we bringing up the Zeller history on the spot? I don't know nothing about neither of these boys. Tyler Zeller, between Atlanta and Memphis, he averaged 0 points with Atlanta in the 2 games before he was traded. And then he went to Memphis and played in 4 games and averaged 11.5 points. Not too sure if he fell off the face of the earth, if he moved to Czechoslovakia or what. But there is nothing that I'm looking at in Zeller's 2018-2019 season that looks like it could contribute to anything that the Lakers were trying to be accomplishing.
Is he above the option you don't want?
I'm not necessarily sure if I know Tyler Zeller is alive. So I need to figure that part out. I'm doing my research, right? Like I'm looking at this. In the last note I see in Basketball References, signed a contract for the rest of the season with the Memphis Grizzlies. They might as well put under that and was never heard from again. Like, I don't know. He's non-applicable. I don't know where he's at. Hey, Tyler Zeller, if you're out there, man, give us a shout out. Let us know you're all right. Because from what I'm seeing, this boy is MIA. And he's on the back of a milk carton.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, okay. Now, there was a couple options I put on the side for you. And I'm guessing these are above the option that you don't want. Would you rather have Joakim Noah or Nene?
Okay, see, now this is a fun conversation we can have real quick. Joakim Noah or Nene. Nene's always been a guy who, for the most part, most Lakers fans will probably remember him from his days with Denver, like AI and Kmart and Carmelo and Chauncey Billups. That was a team. All I remember from Nene is that man, whenever he's going to retire from the NBA or whenever he's done playing, is just going to go into the world's strongest man competition. I have never seen somebody that's just built like he gonna break somebody if he touches them. Like Nene's intimidatingly swole, dog. Like you remember his rookie? He had a little rookie photo shoot. And in his rookie photo shoot, it's him squeezing a basketball like that has exploded. And you could just, obviously that little look like he popped the basketball. It's like, no, that makes sense. You a big ass dude. I need to pull up. I need to know what his green rolling gravity is these days. Because I see those gray hairs starting to come in them dreads. And he's starting to get a little wisdom on himself. So I just want to know at what speed he's running at now.
Did you know Nene is a black belt in mixed martial arts?
That's
remember when Jimmy Butler tried checking him and he like choked him?
Oh my God.
He was gonna kill him.
Oh my God. That is a deep cut. I need to look that up.
Jimmy Butler and Nene, when they went at it, oh my God. It was like, Jimmy, you're plotting your death way too soon, bro.
Oh, I do remember this. This was back in 2014. And you know what? Oh, my God. There's pictures up of his hands just wrapped around Jimmy's entire back of his neck and throat. Yeah, I want Nene. You know what? Bring Nene and Danny. I'll give you 25,000 bonus points if you could tell me what Nene's last name is.
Hilario.
Wow.
Hilario.
Good for you. Yeah. That's a man who did his research 15 minutes before the show. I'm proud of you, baby boy.
That's not true. I used to when I used to play NBA Live or anything, I was like, why is his name just Nene? I didn't know that. I always used to look it up.
Yeah. In his age 36 season with the Houston Rockets, Nene appeared, he averaged about 13 points a game, gave you 3 points, 2 minutes, no assists. Half a block, half a steal. Not a lot here. He was, 517 field goal percentage. Again, another person who has not averaged a 3-point shot in his life. Well, that's not true. He averaged 0.1 last year. So, yeah, I'm okay with Nene because I know exactly what I'm getting. I'm just getting a big ass boulder that can set screens and choke the shit out of people. So, yeah, I'm with Nene. Who did we put him up against? I'm sorry.
Joakim Noah.
Joakim Noah, the bucket of energy. Joakim. So here's my issue with Joakim is injury concerns. Obviously, he has been plagued with, a lot of injuries ever since he was wrapping up his tenure with the Bulls. Like that Knicks tenure was a disaster. And he's kind of just been, out to Memphis after that. For some reason, he had a wonderful game against the Lakers last year, though. And I guess in that sense, some Lakers fans probably most recently think of Noah in a positive light. But because of this Boogie injury, and to be honest, because of how spotted AD's injury history has been, I don't think I want another notoriously injury-plagued player. And Joakim would definitely be that person. He's energy. He's excitement. He is a spark. If the team is going through a drought, for the most part, Joakim is at least going to get up in someone's ass and light a fire under somebody and really try to bring a spark to the team. that just doesn't really feel the same if he's in street clothes, right? Shout out to his dad, though, catching a fish in the ocean and then biting that motherfucker dead. That was something that really, really shocked, but didn't surprise me out of the Noah family. So shout out to him. Famous tennis player, French tennis player, too. So I don't know. I like Joakim. If he was healthier, he'd probably be signed by someone else.
Moving on to the person you don't want, Ricky. Who is this mystery person? I'm guessing, and like I know who it is, but I don't. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was on the .com of Twitter, and I just saw I started posting some names of people when Boogie went down. I posted a picture of Joakim. I posted a picture of Nene. You know, I asked, and people mostly responded with no's for those guys, and that's fine. I guess I understand that. But then I started seeing some names trickle in on my timeline that kind of just had me confused and concerned for fellow Lakers fans. The first one was Carmelo Anthony. I thought that was a joke, but then I saw them people bringing it up in other people's mentions. So, guys, just please let Carmelo go to the Nets. I don't know. He's been working out with the Nets players informally, so just stop bringing him up. It's not the time to talk about Melo after a goddamn center goes down on the Lakers. Can we grow up a bit, please? But the other name that really just, for lack of better terms, really just, perplexed me. People were asking about Dwight Howard and a Lakers reunion, asking if Dwight would be a good fit and backup minutes, a good pick and roll guy, finish at the rim, and a good post defender. Why not put Dwight and sign him for a reunion on the Lakers? My boy Kwame actually texted me about that, and I will tell him what I will tell everybody here and what I've already told the people on twitter.com. There is no scenario in Lakerland where Dwight Howard would be rejoining the team. We were not even going to stay on the point of pettiness where Dwight left the Lakers after that tumultuous season, that just, shit show from this is going to be fun to our GOAT just went down with a torn ACL, and the last we see of Dwight is him taking off his jersey, walking past Mitch Kupchak after getting fucking bounced by the Spurs in 4 games in the first round of the playoffs after Kobe willed us through. That's the last of Dwight Howard in the Lakers uniform I remember. Don't know if y'all forgot about that. But we won't stop and just stay there and why Dwight shouldn't be a Laker today. We won't talk about when he left and spurned the Lakers after we put up billboards, saying stay Dewey 12, however people want to feel about that. That's kind of an embarrassing moment in Lakers history as far as, we quote unquote begged for Dwight to stay and he still left. That shouldn't happen to the franchise. So Lakers fans remember that. They also remember the Dwight Kobe, little tip that they had and how we got some of our greatest Kobe memes and Kobe gifts, right? Soft. Try me. Ate all those little baby elbows Dwight threw at Kobe, right? We won't sit on that. Danny, what I would like to focus on is Dwight Howard, the basketball player today. Last time we heard of Mr. Dwight Howard after he left Houston, right? He started making his trek around the NBA. After Houston, he ends up in Atlanta. After Atlanta, after one season, he ends up in Charlotte. After Charlotte, in one season, he ends up in Washington. Don't know if you know what that means, Danny. That kind of makes you a journeyman if you're traded to 3 teams in 3 seasons, right?
Yeah, it's true.
The Washington trade to Memphis, the former Washington GM, I guess, had a quote, rumored, reported source that said that was the quickest trade he had ever made in his life. Okay. Yeah, because I'm sure, Dwight was just all sunshine and butterflies in that Washington locker room, right? No. He was disruptive. He was a goofy man and then tried to flip the switch and turn into a fake leader, right? Yeah, that sounds like somebody we need to bring into our locker room this year with Rajon Rondo and LeBron James and Anthony Davis. That's who we should bring in, right? The last we heard of Dwight Howard was that he had to get reconstructive ass surgery. That might be a misdiagnosis of what exactly happened. But the last we heard, he played in 9 games with the Wizards and then was out for the season. They called it a back injury, but reports had came out. Some had, he had to get some things, put back together and, just fix. Some shit tore. I don't know. But I haven't seen Dwight Howard since he's had to get ass surgery. What exactly are you telling me that I should take a flyer on? Danny, I saw Joakim Noah play last year, at least. I saw Amir Johnson move around on the court for Philadelphia last year. I saw, to be honest, Dwight play in 9 games, averaged 13 points, 3 boards, and half a block, right?
Wow.
In his 25 minutes played. You think Dwight's going to get 25 minutes on the Lakers? Of course not. Dwight's probably going to get 10 to 15. And in that 10 to 15, what are you expecting him to bring in value? I saw someone else say that he will be a good pick and roll guy. When the hell has Dwight Howard been too keen on being a pick and roll guy? Wasn't that Kobe's whole thing, being a pick and roll guy? Wasn't that what Dan Tody was trying to get Dwight to do? Set those high screens and roll to the rim a la Amari Stoudemire? Huh? Isn't that what the plan was? And he rebuffed it every time. Want to know why? Because his little soul self thought that he had the dominance of Shaq in the post. Shaq had post moves, Dwight. I'll give you $1,005,000 if somebody can name a post move that Dwight Howard has. It doesn't exist. You open up the door, there's nothing there. What exactly are you trying to have me buy in on with Dwight Howard in the year of our Lord 2019?
Oh my goodness.
There is no value there from a basketball standpoint. There is no value there from a personnel locker room standpoint. Oh, and by the way, he's already shown you he's not trying to be another Laker. Yes, his agent came out and said he was open from the door. Dog, we saw what you did in the Lakers uniform. Kind of didn't turn out too well. We don't forget that as Lakers fans. Jeannie Buss doesn't forget how she did a whole goddamn marketing campaign, and that ends up being the joke, one of the jokes of her tenure. That doesn't all just poof. Oh, we're down to big men. Who should we go after? Oh, future Hall of Famer Dwight Howard, who has already screwed over the Lakers once, has been traded to 3-4 teams in 4 years, has a broken asshole, and is not checking off any of the boxes of what the Lakers need as a big man.
I think you hit the nail on the head on that one.
I don't mean to get on those tangents, Danny, but it's a non-starter. Oh. You turn your back on a franchise once and then move forward and have a career that had been once dominant and now, to be honest, a little sad how much Dwight has bounced around. I don't want to act like Dwight won't be a Hall of Fame player. I think he will. I think he owns probably blocks and rebounds for the Magic, right?
Points.
That 05 to 2010 stretch, right? Crazy.
Yeah.
So it's not like I hate Dwight Howard, man. I remember when I was on my phone every second of my life watching those rumors that summer of the Lakers trading for Dwight. Like, I was on that. I really wanted Dwight on the Lakers. It didn't work out. Sorry, no reruns. And if I could just share one word's wisdom, take that to your relationships too. If you and a young woman or you and a young man don't work out, it's okay to walk away and then never date them again. This whole, let it go, they'll go back. No, it's also okay to realize if something was awful, a disaster, one of the worst relationships in your life, You don't have to go back to it. Is that fair, Danny? Is that fair? Even if they say, yeah, I've been down to my luck. Maybe I was wrong to do all this, but hey, it's 7 years later. It's 9 years later. Yes, I'm still down on my luck, but look, you just got out of a relationship. Why don't we get back together?
Oh God.
It don't work like that. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. So
no.
All right, Danny, we got into our feelings about Boogie once again, man. We want you to get healthy. We want you to just keep your head, man. We're praying for you, DeMarcus. We hope that we see you again playing in the NBA, because you were a fun player to watch. And like we said, like I say every time, man, I'm a big fan of bully ball, and you were one of the few big men that like to impose their size and their power on smaller people. So I appreciated that. So hopefully we'll see you again soon, bro. Danny, I think that'll probably about do it for us. Oh, real quick. Kuz had a nice little performance, man, in the exhibition game against Spain. Team USA decided to push back their cuts, right? And they decided to bring all their players into the exhibition game. So in his time in the USA's 90-81 win over Spain, Kuz actually started getting his chance, little Kuz chance out in the stands, stuff like that. And they played some pretty decent talent, Ricky Rubio, Marcus Gasol. And, Kuz had 7 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, hit a 3, looked like he was active defensively, doing a little thing down there. Little banging, little, keep his energy level high. That's all we ask for. If Kuz is coming off the bench this year, he'll be a focal point of the offense, especially with Boogie down. And we also need him to step it up a level on the offense, on the defensive end, excuse me. It's never been a doubt that Kuz could get buckets. We saw that from day one in Summer League. Kuz could get buckets, right? It's always been, can he elevate the defensive side and now become a more complete player at what everybody's trying to hope and wish for Kuzma. And yes, we do appreciate all the shooting workout videos of him with the higher release point, but can I better see a defensive drill? He showed it a little bit in last night's victory over Spain. So shout out Kuz. Danny, anything that you're looking forward to for Kuz really quick going into next year, what you're looking for? He was a plus 13 on the floor. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that out as well. As far as his total impact when they were on the floor, when Kuz was on the floor, Team USA was plus 13 against Spain.
This is the year that he shows why they kept him over the rest of the former young core. That's all I got to say.
And there we go. We will wrap it up there. Kuz, man, we're pulling for you. Don't mind the comments on Twitter. People feeling a little type of way about you speaking, presenting yourself, in the fashion that you do. We'll leave it at that. So I think that'll do it for us this week on the Late Night Lake Show podcast. We threw out a bonus episode, my talk with Jonathan Hernandez on the Lakers Legacy podcast. So go check that one out. Here's a new, fresh Late Night Lake Show podcast for you guys to digest for the weekend. We will talk to you soon. For Danny, it's Ricky. So
we out.
Take us out. Peace.
Need my blood to bring another zone, yeah. We don't get it poppin' like I tell you.